Welcome, podcast listeners. We've uploaded our first video to TikTok and we're now TikTok famous.
Get on that TikTok.
Straight away, we're there. It's me blowing someone's head up by accident on Days Gone. It's fantastic.
What's the handle?
We're going to, at What's the Buttons? We managed to secure this one.
Yes.
Rather than having fucking like, what's on the button? What button is it? All that kind of shit. We've got What's the Buttons on TikTok.
All the fucking buttons.
And I think the aim is, off the back of a couple of episodes ago, where I was talking about uploading clips from PlayStation onto the app and then downloading it onto your phone and shit like that, how much more easier they've made it. I think it's going to be a lot easier to upload more frequent clips from the PlayStation and shit like that. So expect more, because there's some funny shit that I've got saved, and I know you've got some cool shit saved that we could easily pop up on there.
Yeah.
So it's decent.
I mean, yeah. Let's start piling it shit. Let's overwhelm people with the tiki-tokis.
Now let me cast your mind
Here we
back.
go.
Let me cast your mind back to episode, I don't know, let's call it 47, because we've got loads now. We're breaching 100 soon. I say soon. It's a good couple of weeks away. There's been plenty of times where Ash himself, being the all-decent co-host. Is it co-host?
I am your co-host.
Because co-host sounds like there's a main host.
No, we're co-hosts. You're my co-host, and I'm yours.
Co-host. That World of Warcraft has been completely shut down from this podcast because no one's interested. And I've always said I respect it. It is a niche game, but it's niche for about 2/3 of the population of the world. Because it is and has remained the world's biggest MMORPG your eyes have ever seen and probably will ever see. All right, it is, we spoke about the numbers before, miles ahead of pretty much every other game that there is of that genre. And like Destiny, there's been shitloads of WoW killers that have come and gone, and I believe the closest one is Final Fantasy. Obviously Baldur's Gate 3 has like, as far as MMOs go, is up there, but it's not of the same caliber. Now, whenever I've tried to speak about it, no one's been interested, right? None of you cunts have wanted to fucking listen, as far as I'm aware, right? Even Ashman himself, not interested. Don't want to hear it. Can't do it. However, if you pick up your microphone and you'd like to speak and tell the lovely people, repent your sins and fucking explain for the next hour as to why you take it all back. Tell them.
I'm not going to say I was wrong, because I always knew what it was. And I always knew why people liked it. And I still maintain that this shit should be on console, because they're missing a massive portion of the market that they could gobble. But here I am, level 46. This is the 7th day, and one of them days I didn't play. So in 6 days, just playing in the evening, I have leveled 46 times. And of each of them levels, I've got more powerful, I've got stronger, I've got faster, and most importantly, I've grown as a human and as a digital entity.
Did you forget what race you were for a second?
No, I am a night elf.
There we go.
I am a rogue.
He knows.
I go by the name of Rain Dolo, following the outlaw specialisation. Multiple skill trees tackled. Multiple key bindings dealt with. Quests, no problem. Monsters slayed. Bosses brushed to the side. Expansions, pathetic. Done. I am a Warcrafter. That is all I need to say.
Ash has, if the people listening, you will remember that this is the third attempt at World of Warcrafting. Now, the first attempt, admittedly, I may have spoiled it. I'm not taking full responsibility, but I hold maybe 95% of the reason why that first playthrough didn't go so well, because it was utter anger and anguish.
He was just shouting at me.
I know. And
It's that fucking button there.
I know.
I can't see it.
I know, and we've got over that hurdle.
I know we have.
The second time round, it was a little bit better, but there was still anger there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third time round, there was absolutely zero anger.
Just encouragement.
And there was nothing but help from me.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing but help. And it seemed to have worked. And then Ash has done what is possibly the most unorthodox thing that you can do. However, is gaining a lot of popularity, especially in the Steam Deck world, of going from keyboard and mouse to controller, which in World of Warcraft many moons ago was unheard of, virtually impossible. And not only has Ash done it that way, gone over to controller, he's done it natively through the game itself. Now, if you know what I'm trying to say is that in order to set up a controller, there's various add-ons and guides to make life a hell of a lot easier. But Blizzard themselves implemented a way not too long ago where you were able to do it within the game itself without add-ons. And I have never really explored either way to do it. However, Ash did, and it seems to be fucking working. And I fuck knows if I know how it is, but it is. And I'm just happy for you.
It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. I looked at some videos of people using add-ons, and it looks a whole lot more complicated. Because what they seem to have, or I don't know if it's specific add-ons, but they'll have two kind of radial wheels in the centre at the bottom of the screen. But they can and they'll have like a up, right, down, and left key binding for the buttons.
Kind of like Baldur's Gate style.
Yeah, but they'll press that and it will completely change the key bindings to another series of 4 key bindings, and that just looks complicated. Whereas I've just got the task, my combat bar thing at the bottom, and it just says LT, RT, because I'm using that Xbox control. And the only problems I was having was, because I'm new to the game, knowing what was important to actually have key binded. And I seem to, for the most part, have done exactly what I needed to do. The odd occasion where something hasn't been mapped to a button, I've gone in the settings and mapped it to something that I feel is applicable. And here we are, just rocking and rolling with the control. I will say that if for some reason the control wasn't working anymore, I feel like I could go keyboard and mouse, although it would take me longer to get back to being able to bang down 1 to 10 quickly without looking, and it seems like a lot to me. It's just a lot more comfortable as well, being able to just put it on the footstool, sit back and just play, as opposed to me being like a hunchback with my shoulder and my elbow up here.
Yeah.
It's just more comfortable for me. And yeah, it's going fucking well.
I can't describe the happiness because we are building an empire here. I don't know if you heard the first 5 minutes of the podcast, but we're famous
for the Alliance.
Right, we're getting there. With just one video, that's all it takes, and to be able to, obviously, we have a lot in common when it comes to gaming, and as we can prove, we have many episodes of us talking about said gaming, but to be able to now both relay a very heartfelt conversation over a game that I have loved for almost 2 decades, and now you're a part of that world, and so engrossed by it, relishing like a pig in shit. It's fantastic. You should hear him when I was playing with him last night. He's not talking to me. He's monologuing to himself about what he's doing. It's role playing to its highest level. It's fantastic. I'm so over the moon for it because, like I said in the other episode, I want it to get to a point where you are somewhat self-sufficient and no longer need me to guide you, but we play together. You know what I mean? It's not so much. Obviously, there's still a shit ton to learn, but I feel like in the 6 days worth of playtime that you've managed to log in, I feel like we've got there. You know what I mean? You don't need me to show you how to do what you'll do. When you get to the final expansion, so when you get to 58, you're going to need my input, 100%. But I feel like this is fantastic. It's so good.
You left me to go raiding the other day. Ditched me.
I did.
No problem.
You cracked on.
Dealt with it.
Needed to raid.
Carried on.
It was a progression raid. I smashed it out the park.
I smashed out the quests.
It was great.
I was levelling up, achieving things. Got a little monkey friend. And yeah, I feel like...
What's crazy is that there's so much more. There is untold amounts of things that I feel like now, with more progression and development and evolution of your World of Warcraft career, I think this new stuff that you haven't come into contact with will be so much less overwhelming than if it was straight away, because you, on a very basic level, know what you're doing. You know what I mean? Nothing's going to happen where it's going to completely change everything about your character, and you're going to be like, what the fuck is happening? You know what the crack is. So I feel like that will allow you to enjoy so much more of the hidden stuff that we haven't explored yet, rather than going, what the fuck is this? What does this do? What's that? Like, there's still aspects there.
Yeah, the main object of my confusion is the items that I'm picking up, because in Destiny, obviously, as I said to you yesterday, the main draw for me for that is that, you know, I've got this, you haven't, mentality, which is a bit of a cuntish way to be, really. But it's nice to have something that other people want. That's the whole point of games, you know, looter games, is you want to get a sick draw, and other people ain't got it, and you're like, well, tough luck. But in Destiny is, you know, we've all got the same, say, funnel web, SMG. Yeah, we've all got the same. I've got hundreds of them. You've got hundreds of them. But have you got the God roll? Have you got the one that's dropped with all the best possible statistics and perks, so to speak? And when you get that, you feel good. It really makes you feel good. And in Destiny, I've said to it before, my fear is dismantling a God roll. So every time it gets overwhelming. Every time I've got all my gear, I have to go through it all individually and make sure I'm not dismantling a God roll. Whereas on this, it seems like I can just sell pretty much everything. But when you're not there, I'm a bit unsure as to whether I should be keeping hold of said item or not.
Put your mind at ease. Until you're max level, none of it matters. None of it matters. You will replace gear very, very quickly. Once you hit 58 and then 60, normally what happens, you hit level 58, you're now introduced into Dragonflight. You begin that expansion, a whole nother world. And it's sort of like in between the prologue. Is it prologue or epilogue that comes first? Prologue. So in between the prologue to Dragonflight itself, you normally level up twice. So by the time you hit the shores, you are 60 or very close to it. The gear jump is very substantial. You're replacing gear fucking left, right and centre. So up until a point, until you're max level, whilst it's nice to get better gear, and you will, and I feel like those endorphins are going to fucking smack your brain right round there with a fucking baseball bat, because you're going to go from where you can compare gear, where it might be like, oh, an extra 2 stamina on this chest piece, or like an extra 5 strength. It's going to be like an extra 60 stamina, an extra, like, your character's just going to fucking...
You know I'm getting them anyway. I keep getting them epic upgrades.
Your character's just going to fucking beef up. But the gear-wise, until you're at max level, and even then, there's a decent amount of progression before it truly matters, you ain't got to worry about it. And the best part about it is that they introduced a thing where when you pick up a piece of gear or weapon or something that you're able to use, it automatically puts that in your collection in terms of transmogrification. So
I've read that. It says when you pick up an item, it says binds on pickup, and then there's bind on equip and stuff like that. And
then even if you pick an item up and you don't equip it, there's some items where you don't have to equip them. It will just give you the appearance straight away, and that pops up in the chat thing. It says appearance for such and such unlocked or something like that. But there's some bits where you would have to equip them. But don't worry, if you don't, they made it so that now if you were to sell them, it automatically gives you that appearance. So you never miss out on anything unless you were to drag it out your bags and delete it. So in that aspect, the new gear and shit that you'll be getting currently is not wasted, because you'll be able to transmog it. And you'll get all these cool... That's such a big part of WoW, and I spend so much time and effort doing that in making my character look fucking cool. Because when you transmog, you can make different presets. And like my main character, my paladin, is just like this fat drop-down menu of all different fucking gear sets that I've given myself, and I look fucking sick.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. I was listening to a World of Warcraft podcast and whatever.
Decent.
And give me a little buzzword. Someone was like, I need to get that bow. It's sweet. I need it. And I don't know what bow they're talking about. But the fact that they're after an item is what I want. I want that. I need to get this. And I want that drive.
Their mounts are a massive one. Mounts and weapons are kind of, and like, because you haven't really looked through it because you don't want to spoil it for yourself, but I feel like we should. The like wardrobe they call it, or its collections in WoW, you can see a lot of your gear that you're able to go back and get, and some of it just looks so fucking cool, especially for rogues. But mounts themselves are a massive part of it because there's so many mounts that drop from raids and shit like that. But obviously with raids, you can only do them once a week per character, and you're locked out. So the Wrath of the Lich King, the main raid in that was Ice Crown Citadel, and the last boss in that is the Lich King, and he drops his mount, which is called Invincible, and that is a holy grail of mounts. And every fucker that plays WoW, you've got people that spent like 10 years trying to get hold of that mount and still haven't.
Pardon me.
Like, there's some crazy shit.
Question.
Go on.
Let's not make this all about WoW as much as I want to, because people don't give a fuck. Like
I think they might do.
Well, maybe, but it might be interesting when I talk about it because it's a beginner's view on it, and they're probably more of that ilk.
You can dumb it down.
Yeah, in layman's terms. So, get to 58, Dragonflight, the latest expansion, procs.
Mm-hmm.
Go in there, do the training bollocks, up to 2 levels to get to 60.
Yeah.
Start the expansion.
Yes.
Right? Get to level 70.
Yes.
Got all my gear. Yeah.
You won't have.
Right, just say I have. Just say I've got all the gear that I need. I'm done.
Yeah.
Right, level 70. Then what's the next expansion called?
The War Within.
The War Within comes out.
Yep.
What happens? So then all the stuff I've equipped is crap, useless rubbish, or do you stay at level 70? Does it go up again? How does that work?
They normally, over the rotation of the expansions that have come out, the levels slowly gone up. The highest it ever went to was 120. And then they introduced a level squish. So it went, obviously you had 60 and then 70, went to 80, 90, 110, 120. And then in between that, they've squished it down. So it went from like 120, I think like straight down, back down to 60. And everything compressed down because it was like, this is getting ridiculous. Like you had people that were sitting with like 10 million health. Shit like that. The numbers were getting silly. So
power creep, isn't it?
Yeah. So they squished that down, and with the War Within, chances are they might increase the level by another 10 because you have to fill the expansion with something. You can't just have max level people with already very decent gear. You remember how yesterday I was talking to you about those time walking dungeons and how they're designed for you to be able to. They're supposed to be leveled with your current level as it is because you're playing an old dungeon. It has to be all fucking balanced properly. But because most of the people doing it have crazy good gear, no matter how much balancing you do, we're able to just drive through everything. Well, that would be the same with an expansion. They can't just keep it the same level as it currently is because no matter what you do, people are going to be fucking rolling through stuff. So chances are they'll increase the level cap to 80.
So what are you doing, right? So I'm not playing. You're level 70. What are you doing? Which say you've just got one character that you use.
What, right now?
No, just for argument's sake, you only use one character. You don't play any other ones.
Yeah. It's pretty much what I do now anyway.
It's level 70.
Yeah.
You've done Dragonflight, you've done, all you want to do. What's your game? Because in my head, I'm thinking, well, if I'm max level, what's the point in doing quests? Because you ain't getting no XP. What's the drive there? What are you doing?
You kind of, it depends what you want to, because there's so many different ways to play WoW, but the main aspect of playing WoW is you get to max level, and that's when you start getting into the nitty gritty of it. You start looking at things like your rotation, the talents that you've got. How can I improve myself? You then start looking at gear, like you've seen on Icy Veins and Wowhead. There are
best in slot.
Yeah, there are a shitload of guides, and you start looking at your best in slot. For now, while you start gearing up when you're max level, you don't really pay attention to that.
No, and I don't need to, and I'm liking that, so I haven't got stress. But I am looking forward to the point where I get my swords, which I've got now, which are transmogged to the Dreadblades, because why not? They're sick.
Yep.
But I'm looking to the time where I get my swords and I'm like, right, this is mustard, and I'm using them for 20 hours, and then all of a sudden, this has dropped and it's better than the swords that I've had for 20 hours, and then I'm gassed because I've finally got an upgrade, because that's when the upgrades really hit home and you get the gear buzz because you've been using the same shit. You finally got something that's better.
But this is where this is where that grind fest of WoW kicks in.
I love grinding though. I'm a Destiny player.
You will hit a point where, so for example, item level wise, I can't remember what the highest item level was. I think it's like 4.8 something or 4.9 something. I think it's 4.89 or something like that, which is the highest, the best gear that you can possibly get at the moment.
That only dropped from Mythic Dungeon things.
Yeah. So at the moment, my paladin's item level is 4.74. So I'm in the top end. So I'm now at a point where I'm looking at specific bits of gear that I am after and specific stats, like a god roll basically. I'm looking for certain things, and there's certain dungeons and certain difficulties that I need to do to be able to be given the chance of them dropping. So like with the raid, you can only do it once a week. So you got you're looking for raid, which is like the very bottom level where any fucker can just queue up for that, and then you've got normal, heroic, and mythic. Mythic's a fucking no-go. I've never done a mythic raid in my life, and I probably never will. That's hardcore shit.
Listen. Daddy's here now.
No, I'm telling you.
Daddy's here now.
No, I'm telling you. That's job interview type shit.
All right, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Let's address the elephant in the room. There was a time.
I know exactly what's coming.
Do you?
I think I do. Yeah. Go on.
When you played Elden Ring.
Yeah, I know exactly what's fucking coming. Yeah. All right.
And you didn't like it. And you said you were going to jack it in.
Yeah.
I taught you the ways.
Yeah, you did.
I took you under my wing. You were my Padawan.
Yeah. This story ain't the same, I'm telling you now.
After many trials and tribulations,
the
stinky log figured that he was more talented, more powerful, better than me.
Agreed.
At Elden Ring, which is not true, but let's let him have his bone and run with it. Here we are. Yesterday, the stinky log says he's not coming on tonight. Makes the wise assumption that I'll be okay with that. So what I did, I give him a bit of the old reverse psychology. I'll smoke you anyway, fool. Yeah, would you? Yeah, I don't think so, pal. On he comes. Just appears in my world like it's nothing. Like there's no... Like he just invites himself. Here he is.
I'm here.
Here he is. Where are you? I'm on top of the mountain. The scene's set. On top of the mountain. He wants to fight on top of the mountain. Fine. We go up there. We do the bow. We do the curtsy bow. I fuck his shit up. He's dead. Dead. Proof is in the pudding.
Number one.
Steph's got the video. You got smoked.
Steph does have the video. Number one. You're 10.
Come the excuses.
You're 10 levels higher than me, and it was still an absolute one more hit from me, and you were dead.
But who was dead?
Unequivocally dead.
But who was dead?
It was one hit.
But who was dead? That's what we need to know.
Number two, and the video will fucking show it. I don't know what the fuck happened, but I always remember when you duel, when that flag hits the ground and you say yes, a big fucking number 3 flashes up on the screen and then counts down to 0, and then boom, it's dueling time. All right? Well, that never happened. So what then occurred was I weren't stealthed, and then when I finally did click stealth, the duel had already begun, and you shadow stepped on my ass and started battering me, to which I went, oh shit, and retaliated, and very quickly we were even matched, and then you just got one hit in on me. And what was ridiculous is having watched back the footage, I was like, why didn't I just click evasion? Because then you wouldn't have been able to touch me. Or I could have vanished, and you wouldn't have been able to touch me. There's all different things. I was impressed.
But you didn't, and therefore the victor gains the spoils, which was me. Let's just go back a moment. Let's just rewind.
I was in the wrong chat menu, to be fair. That's where the countdown was. I'm telling you now. If I had seen that countdown, you would have been fucked.
Okay, here's an even bigger thing that's going to fuck your mind up, right? Honestly, because whilst that is a valid excuse, but it doesn't help your case because you lost. But here's another thing that's going to fuck your head up. I didn't even know there was a countdown. I didn't even know there was a countdown that existed.
So how did you not?
I just bowed, went invisible, and then I said 3, 2, 1, go, and I just started wailing.
That's exactly what happens. It goes 3, 2, 1, go.
I had no idea there was a countdown.
Yeah.
So when you were saying,
But
I
they
didn't
moved
see a
it
countdown.
to the fucking chat window, and
I
I
had no
weren't
idea.
in that window.
I had no idea.
It's ridiculous.
I wasn't, because you messaged me
Exactly,
on there.
that's the
So
window I was in.
I was in that window too.
So that's what happened. I was anticipating that 3, 2, 1.
And I wasn't anticipating because I didn't know it existed.
And what was happening was I weren't in stealth, because whenever I've done it in the past, when I used to main a fucking rogue, was before the duel begins, you can see each other stealthed because you're not enemies at that moment. And normally what happens is if you stealth before the duel starts, people know where you are. So they know where to aim. So you normally wait until it gets to like sort of 1, and then you go into stealth and you jump in a different direction, and then boom, you're invisible. No one knows where you are. And then it would have been weird between the two of us because we wouldn't have been able to see each other. We would have just been circling for a while until one of us, if you're in sort of the same vicinity, every now and then you see like a glimpse of someone that's stealthed and it makes a noise, and you're like, I know they're near, like I just saw them. Chances are you would have seen me a lot quicker because you're a higher level than I am. But congratulations, you got a little achievement out of it. It won't happen again.
I think no, it probably won't. But I think though that why I got that attack in right now, thinking about it, is probably because I was invisible, like anticipating the fight.
Was you spamming Shadow Step?
Yeah. And then when
the minute it aggroed,
when Shadow Step kicked in, that's when I just wailed.
Yeah.
So that's why I had the advantage.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, a win's a win. So let's go to the He's not gonna come on because he's a little bit tired and he's very.
I was fucking tired.
So was I. I just had an espresso and dealt with it.
Yeah.
I said no worries, that's fine. He said I'm gonna have to put in a shift catch up with you. I said, well, I know you're not committed, are you? So it is what it is. He said sorry. I usually take a day or two away from it a week after a rage. It's stressful. I need to chill out. I said, I get it.
Did I say it was stressful?
No, I put that in for a bants. I said, I get it. WoW's not an easy beast to tame, but you'll get there. He said, brother.
Absolutely ridiculous.
I am the epitome, the alpha omega. I said, clearly not. He said, I could duel you now on my rogue and win. I said, lol, that is definitely not true. He said, it 100% is. I said, ha 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 ha. I'm almost certain I would beat you. He said, nah, I'm certain you wouldn't. I'm coming on, and before I change specs, we will see. I thought, got him.
Ladies and gentlemen,
he's on. I said, you're getting fucking schooled.
Remember this.
He said, we will see.
Remember this in a couple of weeks when I take Ash for his first ever fucking raid, and then we'll revisit this.
You need to be careful.
Who's fucking crumbling here?
No, you need to be careful because you take me into something that scares me and is overwhelming me.
It's gonna fucking scare you.
It's gonna take me out of the experience and ruin it for me.
You.
So right now, I'm just happy in my little bubble doing my thing. So you leave me there for a while.
But this is where. What's the date? It's the 12th. See, this is where it's going to work out perfectly because the 16th is when those follower dungeons come out, and you're going to be right in the fucking middle of that, and that's going to be perfect for you because it will allow you at your own pace to explore the Dragonflight dungeons and get to grips with what's going on. With the raiding side of it, like I say, you have looking for raids. So normal, heroic, and mythic, you can't queue up for them like we do with a dungeon. You have to make the group yourself. That's why most people who are in a guild is how they raid.
Much like Destiny with the strikes. There's a certain level of strike you can queue, and then there's a level where you have to...
Basically that.
LFG on the app.
Yeah, so looking... LFR, so looking for raid is a introductory level into
which is
raiding.
Good because Destiny doesn't have that, and that's always been a sucker because I've probably done in my life now 3, maybe 4 raids in Destiny to completion, and that's probably a lie, maybe 2 to completion, but 3 or 4 I've gone through.
Yeah.
And it's a sticking point because whilst I don't know how exactly it works on WoW. But that's like end game content, right? So that's the pinnacle. That's what the game is based around. Destiny, like big raids coming this year, so people get gas for it. But so many people are locked out of it through, being an introvert, being anxious about talking to people because you have to talk to people, communicate, and like get an understanding of whose role is doing what. So I'm hoping if you can look for a raid group in WoW. Obviously, I know that's like the lowest level of raid, whatnot. But there's obviously a reason that you're able to do that and still just get through it without having to.
Yeah, because it allows you to get initiated with it, and for a lot of it, especially so for looking for raid currently, you also get a lot of people like myself who do it because there's something you might be after, something from the boss or whatever. So you do get groups where a big portion of them are just heavy hitters, and so because of that, there's much bigger room for error, because you've got these powerhouses paired with these some people who are at that lower level state of gear, almost being carried through it, and you don't have to worry so much about fucking up a mechanic because there's about 20 other people there that are going to fucking get you through it. And the good thing about the looking for raids, which I think is good and bad at the same time, is that no one really talks. You're just there.
Well, that's
doing
good
a
for
raid.
me because I don't like talking to people I don't know.
Yeah, no one's interested in talking to you. What I would recommend when we get to that point is beforehand just looking at guides on YouTube, because they're very, very good, very quick, tell you exactly what to do as your specific class. And the mechanic side of it really isn't too difficult to grasp. Some of the shit that I've seen on Destiny is far more in depth than WoW. Don't get me wrong, there are aspects of WoW difficulties.
Destiny, the trouble with Destiny raids is, whilst they're very cool, I think there's far too much going on, where it has to be like precise and minute, and it gets to the point where, and this is probably part of the reason I don't like talking to people online, is because it gets to the point where almost every encounter in a raid, there will be a job that every person has to do. And if one person doesn't do exactly what they were supposed to do and are not fully understanding the mechanic of the encounter, the encounter will fall on its face. And then they will know who fucked up, and that person just gets bombarded with abuse. So you get overwhelmed with the fact that you've never done the raid before. Someone's trying to explain it to you who's run it 20 times, and they're like you was with, well, why do you not understand what the fuck I'm talking to? Because I'm not experiencing it. So they'll come in, they'll be like, right, you see this big clock on the wall? That's going to rotate to 4. And when that rotates to 4, you have to go and pick the orb up on this platform, go up here and drop it on there. But when they get it, then they're going to give it back to you, and then you need to put it on the clock and it will go to 5. And then you're just like, what the fuck? That is literally how it gets explained to you. And you're just like, well, can we just try and see? Because I don't know. But that is, and I've been in the position of, well, I've run this encounter so many times that I can do it very well. There's one encounter on one of the raids that I can do a whole thing that takes 2 people to do normally out of the raid group. I can do it on my own. Right? And that's the only thing I've ever been good at in that raid, in any of the raids. But I can do that. But it comes down to the fact that there's a lot of people that can't do it or don't understand, and I've been on the end of, why are you not getting it? But I don't abuse them. I'm just like, I try and change the way I've explained it to them, or maybe try this way. And I might get frustrated, but I don't frustrate at them. I frustrate to myself. Like in my head, I'm like, oh, come on, man. But I won't, when you start taking it out on people, you make them more nervous and more likely to make a mistake.
We won't encounter that, because you only get that with either shitty guilds or random groups. And all that we're going to do is join you up with the guild that I'm in, who are a bunch of incredibly lovely people. And especially when it comes to raiding on a normal level. What is that fucking buzzing? Can you hear that? Hear that buzzing?
I might be the love beads.
Might be my fucking headphones is what it is. Hold on. There we go. Oh no.
Oh no. Reese has disappeared. I'll take over from here.
Hold on.
There you go.
I'm
back.
I'm back. I think it's the fucking cable. They're very accommodating. When you go into heroic raiding, that's where you need to know what you're doing, because there's much more high stakes, there's much less scope for fucking up. But on an LFR basis and a normal basis, as long as you're in the right guild and with the right people, it's really not an issue, especially this far down in the expansion. The people that are running that are already high geared. So again, like with LFR, there's so much more room to fuck up. So like they do most guilds, and ours included, you end up doing something called an alt run, which is basically where everyone's main characters have got what they want, and now you're using your other characters to do the raid, because it's like, well, I don't need to do it on my main character, so here's the new shit. It might be people trying to learn a new class or blah blah blah. So as far as the toxicity of it, I think we'll be quite shielded from that, because you'll be part of the guild.
Yeah,
You know what I
and
mean?
that's I'm more than open to trying things, But as soon as I sense people are getting frustrated or angry, I'm just like, nope, I'm not
You
interested
won't.
because I'm not like that. Like whilst I said I'll get frustrated internally, I won't take it out on anyone else. But when someone starts, directing snarky comments at me, I will start directing them back, and it'll either end an argument or I'll just leave.
Never
I'm not entertaining
happens.
that in a computer game.
Never happens in the guild that I'm in. And I've done a lot of raids with them so far, and it's never once been an issue.
Oh,
and
that's fine. That's good.
we've had some absolute dog shit with us, and it's been absolutely fine.
Are you on a scale of 0 to 10? How impressed are you with me?
Probably an 8.5.
That's low.
I'd probably go an 8.5.
Well, what am I missing? What was you expecting more? I fucking crafted
What was
my
you
own.
expecting more?
10.
Why was you expecting 10?
I've stuck with it for a week. I've played without you. I've
Yeah, but
mastered keybinds on a controller.
Yeah, but
if
I then tell you, if I give you that extra 1.5, you're going to think you're perfect. There's always room for improvement.
No.
I don't care if you beat me in a fucking duel, all right? I'm the dojo master, and I'm telling you, there's room for improvement on anyone.
I'm talking about 0 to 10 in the 7 days I've played, not overall. Of course, I don't know everything.
Oh.
Well,
You need to be more specific then, don't you?
Of course I don't know. I know fuck all. But I'm for a beginner, I feel like I've fucking rocketed.
Yeah, done decent.
Double decent.
Triple decent. It's all right. It's decent.
Yeah. Got a blue dragon and that. Got a little baby blue dragon following me about. You ain't got that.
I most definitely do.
You don't, because you haven't done this expansion, and that's where you get it from.
Oh, probably not them.
So then. And you ain't got Uku Duku.
It's got this fucking... They call them trinkets, and it's just got an ability on it where it summons a fucking little gorilla thing that just flings shit at people and smacks them with a spear.
Yeah, you don't fuck about.
No, you're all over it.
I was speaking to a guy today at work, and really good lad. Got a lot of time for him. He plays Ark, and that was what I was veering towards over Christmas, just to try something different. And I see him for the first time in like weeks today, and I said, guess what I'm playing? And he said, Ark. And I said, no. And he was so disappointed, and I was like, oh, come here, bubs. And then I said, what's the nerdiest game you could imagine? And he said, World of Warcraft. I said, yeah. He went, no fucking way. I said, yes fucking way. And I was as I am now, I was so enthusiastic about the game. I was telling him, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm fucking, you can do this, blah blah blah. He's gassed. He wants it. He's going to download it and play himself.
100%.
So I've given him my number, and I think he's going to jump on, and I'm going to help him out.
The game, don't get me wrong, the game is nerdy, but it's no much more nerdier than a lot of other games. It just, I don't know why it's got that stigma attached to it that it is massively nerdy, because it's really not.
Or because people 15, 20 years ago were fucking not coming out their bedrooms and shit. And
I mean, they're still like that now. I'm like that.
Well, yeah, I would be if I didn't have a family.
It's still, your family's in jeopardy here, because if the addiction really, really takes hold, like it has for fucking 90 other % of the people that play WoW, then there's going to be an issue here. Especially once you start looking through the WoW shop. Ooh, the mounts in that. Have you looked through the shop?
I had a little look, yeah. I've made it my 2024.
Yeah.
One of my New Year's resolutions is to not spend any money on computer games.
That's never... What do you mean?
Well, I mean,
you're not going to buy any games?
No, I mean like microtransactions.
That's never going to happen.
Why not?
Because I just know you.
Yeah, I know, and I know me. But so far, I've done well.
We're only fucking halfway through January.
Yeah, and halfway through January, I haven't spent any money.
It's absolute bollocks.
Well, I'm doing it.
I'm telling you now, Fortnite will come out with some fucking mad skin.
What, console gaming? Fucking whelps. Little console whelps. Fucking hell. What a bunch of muggles.
What have I done?
You know what I mean? I'm a fucking PC gamer, bro. I'm updating Steam and that when I go on. Do you know what I mean? Steam library. Move along. I'm on Battle.net. Do you know what I mean?
I told you could do it. You had no faith in yourself when it comes to PC gaming. Once you get used to it.
Well, I mean, all I do is click. It's burnt in my memory. I go click on, wait for Steam to go, I'm downloading, then close that, close Discord, go on Nitro Sense, click the little GeoForce button at the top, launch World of Warcraft, which for some reason now says Miniature Monsters. I don't know why that's changed. Launch that.
I think it's because they got on like a gaming app.
Right, but it's
out
just some
game.
weird thing, but it's got no picture of it. It just says Miniature Monsters.v, fucking weird shit.
Strange.
Launch that, launch Battle.net, I'm in, plug my control in, plug my headphones in, and I'm playing. Gucci. Oh, I need a Wii. But anyway, I don't need a Wii that bad. I could talk about this wax lyrical for forever because I'm obsessed with it. I'll just shout out to the geezer I played DayZ with. He messaged me today on PlayStation. I don't know if I mentioned it on the Patreon episode or if I mentioned it on the Cheapskate podcast.
Yeah.
I met a guy, the bare bones of it. I met a guy. I was going to die. I had no food. See a geezer trying to punch a fish or whatever he was doing. And I went over and I said, "You got any food?" And he said, "Yeah." And I ate his food and I kept eating more food than he knew I was eating.
Yep.
He was new to the game. I aimed a gun at him when he weren't looking a few times. Thought about shooting him. Didn't. Told him, Rule 101, right? I said to him, do not trust anyone in DayZ. Not even me. I said, you can trust me, but don't trust me. You know, I'm giving him off sort of weird psycho vibes there, but I knew what I was trying to say to him. Anyway, long story short, I gave him a gun to protect himself. He fired off all the shots at the zombies, attracted a horde of zombies towards us. We escaped. Obviously attracted the attention of other survivors and they shot us both and we died. But that was the experience. Messaged him saying some guy killed us both. He said cheers for the help. I said no problem. If you need any help, let me know. By the way, do a podcast called What's the Buttons. Feel free to listen to it. And that was the 14th of December. And he messaged me today saying, been listening to your podcast. Fucking funny stuff. Hope you're doing well and had a good Christmas and New Year. How have you been doing on DayZ? Had a good run the other day. Lots of gear, batteries, guns, the lot. Then I trusted some twat, gave him a gun with one bullet and he shot me in the face. Love it, lol. I said, that's wicked, mate. Hope you're well, pal. DayZ, DayZ, DayZ. Where to begin? Lesson number 1, I taught you, trust no one. But the best thing about DayZ, it constantly teaches you lessons as you play, and I'm sure you've learnt a pretty important one there. So, just wanted to shout him out, really, and say thanks for listening, and continue on your journey in DayZ, although I can't help you no more because now I live in Azeroth.
But understand this, that if there's a brief period in our Azerothian lives where we come back to DayZ and we cross paths, a gun will be pointed at your head and the trigger will be pulled.
When you're not looking.
It's as simple as that. Ash is a better man than I am. I will kill people on sight just for the fun of it.
And I will protect you, my friend, because I do not kill people unless they deserve it. But yeah, I just wanted to shout him out because I thought it was a really nice message.
I like that shit. I like it when it's much more organic, stuff like that.
Yeah, it was cool, man. This is how long we done? Because I just want to play World of Warcraft.
Not long enough.
No, that's fine. What other stuff can we say?
It's crazy. You wake up in the morning and you think, wow, there's World of Warcraft. You go throughout your day, there's various bits. You spend a long time thinking about your talents. Go, oh, could I change that? You should download WoW Armory. It lets you see world quests and your characters, lets you look at your talents, lets you actually buy stuff off the auction house without having to actually physically go there.
With your gold on your character?
Yeah.
I'll download that.
It's very...
You've got it on your phone?
Yeah, I'm just going into it now. Last time I went into it, it wouldn't let me log in for some reason, but...
I was looking at my legs today thinking, how much and am I brave enough to break one of them so I can lay in bed and play.
Terrible, isn't it? It's really bad. You wait until the fucking next expansion comes out, you're going to be like, yeah, I'm not coming in. Sorry, something's happened.
Something's happened to
I
me.
really apologise. I did it the other day. I didn't go into work because I was like, you know what? I'm excited. I'm not going in. It was the other day, wasn't it?
Yeah, the night that you stayed up late with me, I had no idea. I was like, he's staying up late. Well, I'll stay up late with him then. All of a sudden, I've gone to bed, texted him the next day. I thought, that sounds fucking quiet. And the voice note, you at work? Nah. So, you fucking cunt. I'm knackered.
I told you, though. I said I'm having a tactical day off.
Yeah, but I didn't know that's what you meant. Fucked me over. I thought, fuck me, he normally goes to bed early. This geezer's up till like 11:30 on a school night.
Texted at like 1 in the morning and said, yeah, I got the shits, I'm not coming in.
Got the shit.
Sat there fucking doing Mythic Dungeons.
It's good, man.
What is it? Yeah, it looks like this, and you can see like your world quests. Like, I don't think you would have got into world quests yet, but it also, does it let me view my character? Will it let me view it this time around?
Also, that guy that played
unable to view characters, fucking annoying.
That geezer that played DayZ. If you want the good shit, you have to sign up to Patreon.
Patreon.com/What's the Buttons. Also, it lets you look at your...
Where's WoW Armory? I just see WoW Companion.
Yeah, that's the one.
Oh, it's a companion app. I love a companion app.
But it also lets you look at the calendar for different events, and then it also lets you look at your guild and then you can look at the guild chat and talk to them and shit like that. So when you get really addicted and you can't bear to be away from it, you sit there talking to people on WoW through your phone thinking, haha, how cool is this? Or you do like what I've done a couple of times where you're unable to raid and you sit on Discord on your phone in the chat just listening to people fucking raid, and you're hearing the tactics and shit like that. It's a nice little I don't know, it's the community of it.
The camaraderie.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed being with you, exploring it for the third time round, and actually for myself being much more welcoming, because I'm very much that almost selfish style of gamer where it's like, well, if you don't know what you're doing immediately, I can't be arsed with you. But obviously I've changed my ways. I've grown up. I'm a different person now.
I understand as well why it's invigorating you, because I feel like there's many games out there. Like, I don't have many gamer friends. I've got Clarky, I've got my mate Royce, but he's more just a COD gamer and stuff like that. So you're the only real gamer I know. And when you really love a game, you want other people to experience it. And when they experience it and don't love it like you do, you're like, please love it. Why do you not love the thing that I love?
Yeah.
Please love it more.
Yeah.
And I'm the same. I've tried to get you into Destiny, tried to get Connor into Destiny. Clarky kind of got me into Destiny, but then just never really wanted to come back. I've tried to get people into the things I love, and they're never interested. So I get why it's like invigorating for you to experience my joy and listen to me rabbit on and get excited about, you know, finding a pear on the floor and being like, what's he excited for? But I'm here for it.
And there's so much shit to do, and it's one of those ones where, because it's a proper MMORPG, you're going to be attached to it. There's going to be always something to do, so it's going to keep you coming back and back and back and back. And like I said the other day, you're only playing a fucking rogue. There's so many more other fucking classes there that do so many different roles that you just...
Mate, I've already planned my next two, so...
Who's the next two?
Well, I'm going to do... I'm either carrying on War Ragnar...
Yeah.
And sorting that out, because I don't know what clusterfuck I left him in, but that's unacceptable. Or I'll start another warrior.
Yeah.
Or I'm doing I don't know what you'd call him on WoW, a mage or a wizard or something.
A mage.
Because I've already got the character in my head of what he is, what he does. All will be revealed in time. But right
Mages
now I'm
are
focusing on Rain Dolo's adventures in Azeroth.
Mages can conjure up tables of food that everyone can eat from.
Yeah, well,
they're very cool, and they make little teleports. Some of the best DPS at the moment is mage. They're up there.
So yeah, they're my next couple of characters. But let's deal with Rain first, because he's got many journeys ahead of him still.
But heading back to you saying that WoW should be on console, that call is getting much louder the more and more we go on, especially with the native controller support. What you run into issues with are so things like raiding, PvP, dungeons, that end game content where
the geezer just said PvP when he got schooled with a controller.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes. That targeting, and it gets very hectic, and you've already experienced that where you're targeting the wrong thing without kind of realizing, and it's not a massive issue, but it's the general consensus of it would be if you had a 20-man group, 10 of them are PC and keyboard, the other 10 are controller, the PC and keyboard, the mouse and keyboard people are gonna fucking swamp the controller people. They just are. It's I'm not saying that controller people will be bad, but there will be a gap there, because that's just how the game is designed around a mouse and keyboard, and so are many of the people that play it. So I would love to see it on console, and I think it would do really well. However, I think they would either have to have it all as one, so that console and PC are able to play together, but also be able to have a separate, not league, but section. So, say for example, with Mythic Plus dungeons, have it so that you can do them all together, but have a separate basis. Yeah, yeah, because you're... where I'm quite competitive with it, not crazy, but especially when you get into things like Mythic Plus, there's a website called Warcraft Logs where basically you can save the data of your entire encounter, and there's a ranking system, so you can see how good you are versus the world. And there's people that take that shit fucking seriously. Like, I'm talking proper, like, drawing up charts and things like that, and really delving into it. There's some serious nerdiness that goes on. I respect it, but I also don't want to be a part of it. And when it comes to Mythic Plus, you have a rating, and people are fighting for as best a rating as they can possibly get. So if you end up being fucked over because someone's on a controller, like, it will be difficult. But I also think that with the Microsoft Blizzard sort of little fucking hug that they've now got, I do see it happening, it moving over to console. I would just love to see what kind of form it would be in, whether it would be exactly how it is now, or if it will be how something like Baldur's Gate is, where it's the same game, but the actual UI and stuff itself has changed to accommodate for a controller. You see what I mean? Kind of like how ESO do it, where they've got their console version, but they've also got their PC version. But I wouldn't want it to be exactly like that, because they aren't fucking cross-platformed.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that, which would be absolutely shit. Because think how fucking tearing that would be if Rain Dolo goes through this whole thing, and then you get to a certain point, and then boom, it comes out on console and it's not fucking cross-platform. Because you'd be like, what am I supposed to do? Are you on? I can hear it. You're on fucking WoW.
I was wondering why it wasn't working, and then I realised it was set to America and Oceania by default. So
it can be a bit fucking...
It wasn't letting me log in with my account, I believe.
It can be a bit temperamental.
Yes,
it's not the most perfect app in the world, but it lets you see something.
It lets me see my stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, look. I've got Rain Dolo, Warg Ragnar, and Warg Ragnar. Why have I got two Warg Ragnars? One's level 1 and one's...
I don't know.
Huh.
Might be a little glitch.
Okay. Rain Dolo, here we go. Let's see.
He was like, I don't want the whole episode to just be about World of Warcraft in this whole episode.
No, and here we are, look, you know what I mean? Here I am. Here's Rain Dolo. Let's view him. Let's view the shit out of him.
You can change expand.
Oh, look, I can see all my stuff. I can see him. There he is, look. Look at him. There he is.
Yeah.
So
for some
cool.
reason, I can't fucking view...
there he is.
Most of them.
Shiny Ukin Bauble. Item level 104. Plus 16 agility. Equip. Your harmful abilities have a chance to cause you to summon Uka Duka to fight by your side for 15 seconds.
He fucking loves it.
And he does.
Absolutely loves it.
He does fight by my side for 15 seconds and then some. The geezer don't go away. He's always with me. Me and Uka Duka till the end. Auction house, yeah? Let's have a little look. Battle pets.
I'm annoyed that it won't let me view my character.
No one cares about you.
It's really annoying.
So I can just buy stuff out here, right?
Yeah.
Ghastly Kid. 1,800 gold for a goat. Level 25.
Yeah.
Not doing that. It's cool to look
It's
at.
It's a pet.
Yeah, I know.
Because it's a pet battling pet. And level 25 is the max level for a pet.
I'll level my own one up. Thank you very much. Change expansion, change characters.
do you want to end the episode here?
I do need a wee. But obviously the good shit's in the paid one.
Patreon.com/what's the buttons. It's fucking £5 a month, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, man. Cheapskates, bro. Get on there. We see you.
Expect us more on TikTok. See you later. Uru.
Uru.